Now, we're joined by the women's rights activist Patsy Stevenson. Thank you very much for being on the programme. I'm really glad to have you in this morning. I feel like your face is very familiar to me because I really remember those images of you at the Sarah Everard protest. I think we can see, pinned to the ground by police. And it was during COVID times, that's why we've got the face mask on. I mean, I don't want to go over, what happened there, but just talk about why you went on that protest and whether you think anything's changed since then.
Well, I mean, number one, it was a vigil. And
That's true, I shouldn't say
yeah,
protest,
no, but people do, and before that I was never an activist, I was never a protester, nothing like that. I'd never really been to a protest. And now I go to protests all the time. I'm in and out of Parliament, I'm trying to get rid of bills that are affecting us. I'm constantly in this world now, and it's strange. That was 2 years ago. And since then, we've not seen any change. And it's a massive problem where we've got people at the top and people in the Met Police, especially, where things happen, and then when the news dies down, then they're empty promises and nothing happens. So, I don't know what it's going to take for actual change to happen, but sooner rather than later, we're losing people. This is a real epidemic,
Epidemic is the word, isn't it? It really is. Part of the reason I wanted to get you on is because I've just been reading more and more about the awful murder of Emma Pattison and her daughter, 7-year-old, Epsom College head teacher, killed alongside her daughter. Her husband, George, also found dead, but of course the police believe that he shot them and then killed himself. And, I just feel like there's been a lot of talk about a tragedy, about a murder-suicide, but it's a murder, isn't it, that we're talking about here?
Yeah, and again, the problem is, we've got a lot of people reporting on it who not only do people often speculate, which is really damaging of its own, but the headlines, you can find the onus is always put on women. And it's ridiculous. And the thing is that when you post about this stuff, I post about it on Twitter, and people are like, I don't see the misogyny. If you don't see the misogyny in this reporting, you might have internalised misogyny yourself.
One headline, did living in the shadow of his high-achieving wife lead to unthinkable tragedy?
There is no excuse to murder someone. And it's again, fear-mongering young women into believing that not only do they have all of these other things to worry about men killing them for, if you achieve too much, you may be murdered by your own partner. That's ridiculous.
Now, Surrey Police originally described it as an isolated incident. Now, of course, I know why they use those words. It's to reassure people that there isn't a killer at large. But it's not an isolated incident, is it? Women are killed by their partners all the time.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I know a lot of women's rights activists, a lot of people that are speaking up about this stuff, a lot of journalists like yourself that are talking about this and trying to bring it to the public attention and say, listen, we have a real issue here where women are not being taken seriously. This is a real problem that is happening every single day. Like you said, every 30 seconds they're getting a call, and it's too much. One is too much, but this is ridiculous. What kind of world are our young girls coming into, And I just wish that men would think, hang on, this is really happening, believe women, and just listen to the women in your life who are telling you this is really happening, and try and figure out how you can help this,
You, of course, we know about you because of what happened and the way that you were dealt with by the police at, as you say, a peaceful vigil, it's important to say. We've seen recently, of course, David Carrick of the Met Police jailed for life over 85 offences, including rapes and sexual assaults. How concerned are you about the state of the Met Police?
I was concerned like 2 years ago. And even then, people were concerned decades before that about the Met Police. People have always been saying this about the police. The police system in general needs a complete overhaul because it's systemic. It's really rife. Hiring women in the police force isn't going to do it. There were women officers at the vigil. They're no better than the men. It doesn't make you, a better police officer. It's not going to make you not sexist. You can have internalised misogyny. From what I've seen of the police, these are just the things that are being reported on. We've got over 1,000 police officers being investigated at the moment. Mark Rowley said that's 2 or 3 a week at the moment. And these people, their job is to protect and serve, and they're actively abusing the public. When does it change?
Do you think that it's changing with the new Commissioner, Mark Rowley? He does seem to be doing quite a lot on this. You know, he's giving evidence, he's talking about it, he's saying that there's going to be prosecutions.
The one thing I will say about Mark Rowley is I think a lot of people, and I'm not talking for everyone because I know people say that this isn't true for them, but I appreciate the fact that he's admitting and holding themselves accountable. However, I don't think he is as serious about it as he should be, because we need change right now. And I think the change that he's saying will happen is not good enough, in my opinion.
You're talking a bit about your own experience with the police. What was it like, you know, that night?
I mean, I can't talk much about it because I'm possibly taking them to court. But it's, you know, for me, I thought you could never be arrested unless you do something wrong. And that is not the case. That is not the case. And police are known to go to certain communities and areas where, you know, if they arrest people for no reason, and it sounds far-fetched, it's like, why would you arrest someone for no reason? It happens. This is a truth. And they go to these areas because they can't take legal action against the police. To qualify for legal aid, you need to be earning nothing. I didn't qualify for legal aid and I was a student, earning nothing. So it's, you know, there's not enough help out there for people who are unlawfully arrested. And I think the police get away with a lot of things because they're so close to the justice system.
But you're now considering legal action then. Is there anything you can tell us about that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, so I started legal proceedings last year, I think it was. I'm trying to raise £230,000 by March. I'm at 17 grand. It's probably not going to happen. I'm hoping, you know, that we can raise the money just to take them to court or just to pursue legal action. You know, I mean, if Mark Rowley or the police, if they're doing what they say they are, I mean, I'm waiting for a response, you know. So and it's not just for me; it's for every woman that attended that vigil. I saw what happened. They saw what happened, and the reporting on it. You know, there were a lot of people that were reporting on it, and a lot of people did show what really happened. But the police got out first and said their side of the story. And I can tell you now, a lot of that wasn't true.
OK, thank you very much for being on the programme today. It's been great to have you. I've been really looking forward to speaking to you.
Thank you.